The Arcturians, Interdimensional Portals. By Suzanne Lie. August 25, 2015. Website: SuzanneLiePhD.blogspot.com. Produced by Higher Self.
Sometimes we feel as if we are on the edge of going into and out of time. What we have heard inside is that once we get to a certain degree of alignment with our fifth dimensional self, we begin to see reality as it is, in the now, instead of the third dimensional perceptions in which we view reality as it should be, or where we want to be, or how it has been in the past. Right now, within our every thought, within every second of the time, and with every emotion, we are creating our reality. We are also beginning to discover that it is our greatest challenges that force us to follow our own destiny. When we are able to perceive reality within the now, rather than some version of the past or hope for the future, we begin to realize that we have created our life to be a reality on the edge of the now of the fifth dimension. When we are standing at the edge of our octave shift into a fifth dimensional reality system, we think of that transmutation into the fifth dimension as a major reality shift. In the third and fourth dimensions we were trying to remember who we really were and why we got this earth vessel. When we chose to bilocate into a human vessel, it was often because a version of our multidimensional self was stuck in the paradigm of the third and fourth dimension. Therefore, we took an earth vessel to assist that self. Very often that self is our ascension self because that expression of our self volunteered to go into our deepest darkness and clear it with unconditional love and violet fire. However, the us got stuck in that resonance and called out for assistance. A dimension is a frequency of resonance, and a reality is the script that we created during our earthly sojourn of that reality. The third and fourth dimensions were created to provide the initiations that we needed in order to understand and master third-dimensional cause and effect, polarity, and time. Bit by bit and breath by breath, we are choosing to participate in the higher frequency of the ascension energy waves that are increasingly developing. These fifth-dimensional and beyond energy waves are quite common for a reality resonating to Earth's transitional frequency. Earth has resonated to the third physical and fourth etheric and astral frequency for eons. Now Earth is merging with, and returning to, the fifth dimensional frequencies of reality. However, it takes quite a great deal of adaptation to merge with these higher frequency carrier waves. In order to calibrate our consciousness to these fifth dimensional, ascension energy waves, we have found it is best to fall into this experience. This type of surrender is now possible because then the fifth dimensional energy frequencies are flowing into, through, and out of us, now. If we surrender to these fifth dimensional energy fields as they flow into and out of, it is easier for us to accept and slowly adapt to them. These fifth dimensional energy fields are as fragile as butterflies' wings, in that we can't try hard to touch it or to hold it. Instead, we have to be still as a tree, soft as the grass, and as changeable as the sun. We also need to feel the love of Venus and accept the mystery of the moon. As we stand, sit, flow, or even try to ignore, the fact that as our self merges more and more with our many multidimensional selves, we are opening our portal. This portal is very important in that it assists our consciousness to unify with the fifth dimensional portals of unity of diversity. One of the main lessons we came to learn on this planet is to be able to live in unity of diversity. Unity of diversity means to be able to unconditionally love everyone and everything even if it is quite different than ourselves. Then, whenever we have an experience of fear, to blaze the violet fire transmuting all shadow into light. Whenever we experience a sense of fear, loneliness, anger, or sorrow, the violet fire will reset our emotional body. Once we have reset our emotional body with that violet fire, we are able to return to loving ourselves unconditionally. As we continue to love ourselves unconditionally, we begin to notice that these new higher dimensional waves of energy, these fifth-dimensional thoughts and feelings are getting louder and louder every day. We have the sensation of louder because these higher dimensional thoughts and emotions are coming online with our multidimensional minds and our high hearts, which are both interdimensional portals. Therefore they are constant components of our ascension. This ascension begins with our ascension into fifth-dimensional consciousness, fifth-dimensional perceptions, and eventually fifth-dimensional experiences. In fact, we are all having more and more fifth-dimensional experiences. Sometimes these experiences make us feel like we are looking into a portal of another reality. At first, these portals give us a quick peek of a possible reality. Fortunately, as we continue with our adventure, we begin to discover that we have been taught to believe that our only reality is the third-dimensional, physical world. Many of us have often been taught that we should feel guilty, or embarrassed, or angry, or sad, but who was creating these situations to make us have these emotions? And why were these emotions labeled as bad? The challenging thing is that every part of ascension has more challenges than the last, as these initiations are forming a stairway of ascension. All of the many parts of our ascension that confuse us, frighten us, excite us, or welcome only occur if we pay attention. If we pay attention to our life, we can consciously participate within this process of ascension. We also need to remember to perceive reality from our higher self first. Then, we can also perceive that reality from our third-dimensional self. In other words, we are moving our ascension command center upstairs into the fifth dimension. First, our primary command center was our third-dimensional physical body, but we are now in the process of making our primary command center in our fifth-dimensional light body. As we change this command center within our own awareness, our own consciousness, our own reality systems and our own choices, we will begin to flow through many of our alternate, parallel, simultaneous, past, and simultaneous versions of our present reality. As we become accustomed to these interdimensional perceptions, we will begin to closely perceive the higher dimensional energy waves more and more clearly. Furthermore, as the frequency of our body and our consciousness calibrate more and more to the fifth dimension and beyond, we will receive even more information from the higher dimensional frequency waves. This information comes to our superconscious mind because only our higher frequency states of consciousness can receive information from the frequencies to which it has been calibrated. One thing we will begin to experience is that we have different channels in our brain mind. These mental channels are much like the channels on a television. We have been collecting the necessary information that resonates to each brain-mind channel. Therefore, these channels include different versions of our reality, life, dreams, or our need to become one with the reality that we are creating. Remember, we came to Earth's schoolhouse to learn 1. The law of cause and effect. 2. To blend the third and fourth dimensional polarities to create unity of diversity. 3. To live with unconditional love and the violet fire of transmutation. With unity of diversity, we will no longer have the need to fight with each other because of our differences. Instead, we will remember how we love to be loved, as well how we love to be accepted and feel like we are a part of creating our personal and collective reality. Some of us have spent many lives fighting because they were different than others. Many of these are people who are somewhat shell-shocked from their myriad third-dimensional lives. Therefore, we send them unconditional love and acceptance. Fortunately, as we fully merge with our third and fourth dimensional self, we can more fully recognize our fourth dimensional talents and traits. As we remember and use these talents and traits, we create a happy and creative feeling within our body. At first, our fourth dimensional feelings are very visceral, as we feel them within our physical form. But as we become accustomed to feeling, integrating, and living a fully integrated third and fourth dimensional life, we increasingly experience fifth dimensional sensations. Our fourth dimensional sensation feels very visceral in that they often feel as if these sensations are occurring within your physical body. However, they also feel as if we are doing and or observing something that is creative. Hence, our fourth dimensional feelings and perceptions remind us of the joy of being creative, athletic, artistic, happy, playful. On the other hand, our fifth dimensional experiences are something that we need to document because they are new to our brain, perceptions, and experience. Hence, we have not yet made a file in our brain for higher dimensional input. Each of us are getting sensations of wow, what was that feeling I just had? That was not a fourth dimensional experience. That was a different kind of sensation. Very often the easiest way to identify a fifth dimensional experience is that, when we feel the kundalini within the core of our spine either moving up and down or hovering over a certain chakra, our body is likely being stimulated by a fifth dimensional perception. This kundalini is the machine, the chemical machine and the interactive machine that will assist us to remember that the process that we are going through is very important. Therefore, our perceptions are important, and most of all, we are important. As we identify this new way of loving ourselves unconditionally and honoring our physical sensations, we will feel more inspired to share, fine-tune, to write down, draw, paint, teach and share our fifth dimensional experiences in whichever manner feels most natural to us. By this sharing we ground our fifth dimensional experiences into our fourth dimensional astral body, our third dimensional brain and physical body, as well as Gaia's third dimensional planet. With this dedication to our personal and planetary evolution, we invite these higher dimensional energy waves to be planted into our physical body, into our heart and into our mind and into Gaia's planetary body. As we accept, plant, nurture, and grow these higher frequencies of energy within our physical bodies, more and more interdimensional information will come into our own awareness. This interdimensional information allows us to expand our consciousness. Also, as we expand our consciousness, we can observe that the polarities of light and dark, of introspection and outer perceptions, of illumination and confusion, of right and left, of good and bad, of our light side and our dark side are beginning to meet in between our interdimensional portals into the fifth dimension and our physical reality. As we send the wondrous power of our unconditional love into this in-between, our own inner darkness and our own inner light slowly depolarize to just be interdimensional experiences. As we experience our own inner darkness and our own inner light merging into one, we can stop trying to keep them separate as if the light shouldn't know of the darkness or the darkness would be embarrassed by the reflection of the light. The third dimensional polarities are beginning to merge into fifth dimensional unity. The increasing income of fifth dimensional energy fields is serving to fill the in-between of that which was once considered light or dark. Hence, we are beginning to bring together our light, bring together our darkness, and allow them to merge and fill that place in between. That in-between place, which are the fifth dimensional portals, are the areas where the polarities are merging into one. As we allow this merging to continue within our consciousness and within our physical forms, the higher light will go indirectly into our third eye to allow us to better be able to use our clairvoyance. This higher, fifth dimensional light will also go into our high heart to assist us to better understand unconditional love. As this light goes into our high heart, we begin to fully understand how the unconditional love of our high heart is merging with the clairvoyance of our third eye. This understanding allows us to increasingly perceive how our third dimensional expression of reality is progressing into a fifth dimensional expression of reality. The third and fourth dimensional expressions of our reality still exist, and are serving as one to create the bridge to freedom. This bridge to freedom is forming so that we can easily, and consciously flow into the first conscious components of our fifth dimensional self. As this fifth dimensional light activates our multidimensional mind and our high heart, we begin to intermingle our interdimensional minds and high hearts with our daily consciousness. As we share our interdimensional abilities, our sense of unity consciousness expands to encompass all life. Then, our sense of self expands ourselves to include everyone's process of becoming fifth dimensional. This merging of our consciousness with all life accelerates our process of merging with our multidimensional self. The acceleration of the merging of our physical self and our multidimensional self allows us to use our multidimensional mind to perceive reality through our third eye and our high heart to perceive reality with unconditional love. As we remember to perceive reality with unconditional love, our open third eye and our activated high heart begin their merge. As we calibrate our unconditional love with our multidimensional perceptions, we calibrate our high heart and our multidimensional mind to work as one. As we allow our multidimensional mind and our high heart to merge into one, we activate our conscious perception of all multidimensional perceptions. As this process, this merging, this joining, this blending moves deeper and deeper into our physicality, our fifth dimensional light body begins to activate. The first thing that we recognize is that we can now see these energy waves in a clearer way than we could ever perceive them before. We also realize that we can feel the unconditional love that is flowing from these fifth dimensional energy fields in a way that we could never experience before. Most important, as we blend our multidimensional mind with our high heart, we blend our third dimensional format of reality with our fifth dimensional format of reality. With the constant contact between our third dimensional body and our fifth dimensional body, which are connected via the bridge of our fourth dimensional body, we are able to more easily remember to keep our physical brain in alignment with our multidimensional mind and our physical heart in alignment with our high heart. When we remember to keep this alignment, we naturally remember to keep our third and fourth dimensional consciousness aligned with our fifth dimensional consciousness. As we maintain this alignment, not only do we perceive the many interdimensional portals, we become the interdimensional portal that we have always been. It is through these interdimensional portals that we can integrate our physical self with our multidimensional self. This integration is much like, the plane is on the runway and ready for takeoff. Each of us, together and as one, are the guardian for our personal and collective unity consciousness with all life. This unity consciousness is constructed of all the unconditional love and multidimensional thinking that we have shared with all life. As we open the interdimensional portals of our third eye and high heart, we declare that we are now preparing to enter the one. Blessings. Sue Lie and the Arcturians. I, Suzanne Lie, do now declare that I am opening the portals of my third eye and high heart.